Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Morning Must Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and here are several things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. And it's the final day of October on Monday, and then we're on into November. We smooth sailing into the end of the year? We shall see. Now, last week we had some feathers ruffled with horrible earnings from Microsoft, from Meta or Facebook, from Google, and Amazon on Thursday, taking on the chin, down 20% on bad earnings. But wait a minute, the strongest stock out there that's the most influential in almost every index, Apple, saved the day with a slightly better than expected earnings announcement. In the after hours was down 5%, and they kind of bounced back, saving the markets a little bit. And that, my friends, is where we are going to start. We're going to start with earnings. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had 300 companies reporting earnings. Last week, we had over 1,000. Now we have 1,621 companies reporting earnings, and let's dive into what they are right now. On Monday, you have Arista Networks, On Semiconductors, Williams Companies, American Water Works. All right, some unfamiliar names for a lot of you out there, but those are pretty big market cap companies. On Tuesday, it gets a little bit bigger with Advanced Micro Devices, BP, Pfizer, Chesapeake Energy, Energy Transfer Partners, Eli Lilly, and Electronic Arts. Wednesday getting even bigger with Roku, Qualcomm, Etsy, CVS, Booking.com, and Estee Lauder. Now, Thursday, we had that Apple-Amazon duo after hours, which really created some waves for Friday's trading. We'll check out what happens this Thursday. We've got Square or Block, PayPal, Starbucks, Amgen, ConocoPhillips, and Toyota Motors. Now, Friday is light this week. We only have two, Duke Energy and Dominion. Now, of course, there are more than just those two companies reporting earnings, but those are two of the bigger names. Now, we're going to shift focus here because really this week is not about earnings. It's really about central banks and interest rates around the world. We will start things off with the most influential out there, which is going to be the United States. That's right. We know that Jerome Powell and the Fed are the ones that really are the tide that floats all boats, if you will, or sinks them, as the case may be. So let's go look and see what's happening for the U.S. This is going to be happening midweek on Wednesday, a rate statement happening at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, the expectations are we're going to go from 3.25% up to 4%. That's a 75 basis point increase. And remember, the more they hike this number, the more likely you're going to see rising rates across the board, including 30-year fixed rate mortgages, which is starting to slow down the housing market. Now, that's really important, but even more important may be what's happening after that, the press conference on Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. And the reason that's so important is the speculation is running rampant right now about what they're going to do going forward at the December meeting. If you go back about a week ago, there was a 90% chance that we were going to see a 75 basis point increase in the November meeting as well as the December meeting, which could put us up at that 5% mark. Now all of a sudden, the expectations are that the December rate announcement from the Fed could only be 50 basis point increase, and the markets are appreciating that one going forward. Now, it's not just the U.S. We also have central banks from around the world, so let's take a look at what is happening for other countries, not just the U.S. Now, when we look at the Reserve Bank of Australia, right now they're at 2.6%, and the expectation is they're going to come out somewhere around 50 basis points, but estimates vary wildly on this one, from 25 basis points up to 75, so pretty middle of the road at a 3.1 estimate there. That's Monday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so y'all may be sleeping when that one comes out, but here's one that you might be awake for. The Bank of England also expected to raise about 50 basis points from 2.25% to 2.75. That's Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which coincides nicely with the opening of the equity markets. Now, finally, we're going to talk about jobs. J to the O to the B to the S. We heard Jerome Powell talk so negatively about jobs, really saying, hey, expect to see some pain in the unemployment numbers because we're at historic levels, historic lows. Well, what's going to happen this week is 4 major pieces of job data. We'll start things off at the top with the JOLTS job openings. That's Tuesday at 11 a.m. Now, all of the times I'm going to show you here are Eastern Standard Time. So at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, the JOLTS job openings. Moving on, ADP non-farm employment change. This is obviously a major one to see if job creation is still there. Expectations are starting to see things slow down a little bit with job creation, especially given how this market has been selling off. That's Wednesday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unemployment claims is Thursday at 8:30. And finally, the Big Daddy unemployment rate, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this, all eyes really are on that unemployment rate because Jerome Powell has made it very clear, expect to see that number rise. Now, obviously, unemployment numbers are critical. We've been hearing so much about from Jerome Powell and central bankers on how it's going to rise. That might dictate how this market performs for November, December, and maybe even going into Q1 of next year. So keep your eye on that employment data and see where it may lead our markets going forward. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.